Photography is deceptively easy. Pressing one button is all it takes. In milliseconds, the camera creates a file or negative with an accurate capture of the scene before us. Everything is there. Sure, there are some settings we can tweak, but the basics are very easy to grasp. From a technical perspective, photography is not complicated, at least not in 2024. And yet, the irony is that this is what makes it so challenging, because it's so easy to assume that knowing the theory is enough, that practice isn't necessary. Of course, by now you should already know that this video is my attempt at disproving those beliefs and about emphasizing the importance of mastering our tools, our cameras, lenses, and post-processing software, or darkroom. Let's see why it's so crucial and how to achieve it. The reason why great photographers take great photos is because they are paying attention to what's in front of them, not to the camera. I totally get the appeal of a beautifully designed and crafted camera, but we don't buy it to take pictures of it, but with it. This is why I just shrug when people say that some cameras don't have a soul. Cameras don't need to have one. The photographer does. It's our job to infuse emotion, feeling, and story into the images that we create. I'm very pragmatic about camera equipment. They are tools, and they work best when they get out of the way, when using them becomes second nature to us. Mastery happens when we transcend technique, when we no longer have to think about the mechanics. So instead, we react almost instinctively to the light, to the subject, and the moment. That's when we'll be able to make our best work. There's also a practical reason for mastering our tools so we don't miss the shot, because the best photographs are often fleeting. They arrive without warning and go away just as quickly. We are fumbling with settings, wondering if the ISO will add too much noise or how to adjust the shutter speed. We'll lose the moment and the image will be gone. Okay, so that's the why. Now let's talk about the how to master our tools. I have a few tips here, and the first one is to stick to something for a while. I've been using the same lens for almost 4 years now, for the vast majority of my photography. I did upgrade my camera recently, but it's the same system I've been using for over a decade. And I've also been shooting in square format and black and white for that long. And I know that many of you are on the same boat, but these days it feels like it's not the norm, because we are encouraged to chase novelty, to switch gear every few months, to try new techniques, and to change styles constantly. This sells because we crave new things, and don't get me wrong, experimentation is essential, but I believe that we are vastly underestimating the power of sticking to something, anything, for a while. When we are always switching, always changing, always chasing the new thing, we don't go deep enough. We don't give ourselves the chance to truly master anything. So I'd say that the first step to master our tools is to stick with them for a while, in the scale of years, not months or weeks. The next step is to try to keep it as simple as possible, as simple as your use case allows you to. The camera does a pretty good job at adjusting some of the settings for you, as long as you are in charge of the ones that really make a difference. Use manual mode if that's what you really have to do, what you need to do, but please know that there is nothing inherently better about it. In fact, it'll keep a significant part of your attention on the settings instead of on the composition, the light, the subject, or your very own feelings. I do most of my photography with just one dial, the exposure compensation dial. I shoot in aperture priority mode and usually wide open. Obviously, I adjust it when I need to, but that's rare. And my compact camera is always set to program mode. Again, I try to keep it as simple as possible so I can focus on what I'm photographing. Next one is repetitive practice. We have a piano here in the apartment. I don't play it as much these days, which is a shame because I spent over a decade in piano school. One of the lessons I learned after years of playing is that we can only achieve personal expression after mastering the technique through repetitive practice. Most of the playing the piano in piano school is pretty boring. A lot of exercises to gain agility and flexibility in your fingers and to get used to moving and playing scales and those kind of things, because it's only when we don't have to think about what the next note is, where to place our fingers, when the technical aspects of the song are deeply embedded in us, that the conscious mind can take a seat back, and it is then when we can insert our own emotions to the music that we are playing. Of course, for the talented ones, this mastery comes very fast, if not instantly in some cases, but the point still stands. No matter our talent, repetitive daily practice is the only way to get the music, in the case of the piano, photography, in the case of the camera, flow naturally. Say you want to do wildlife photography, for example. Heading straight to Yellowstone after buying an expensive telephoto lens is probably not the best idea. Get the lens, but spend time at your local park getting to know it well. Photograph dogs, crows, pigeons, squirrels, deer, whatever you can find, and do it under different light conditions. Experiment with aperture, shutter speeds, and ISO values, and then bring those photographs, those images into the computer, process them, study them, see what went right, what went wrong, and learn. So when you do make it to Yellowstone, you won't be wondering what that button on your camera does or how to operate all those switches on your lens. You'll be ready. There's no shortcut here, no way around this. It's just about putting the hours in. All of this was about camera equipment, but it also applies to the more creative aspects of photography, like composition. We should study the masters and internalize all the tools available in this visual language that is photography. So when we are out in the field, it just feels natural. When someone asks why you made a particular photograph and all you can say is it just felt right, then you know you are on the right path. Alright, if you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe for more. Consider joining our Patreon community as well, where we go even deeper into these topics. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.